Good morning, class. I guess I'm recording. Yes, I am. Okay, this is a new format for me, so we'll give it a try. There have been several questions on the project that is due Saturday by midnight, which is project 4. It asks you to create 5 developmentally appropriate language arts and reading activities which are tied to the domains in the early learning standards or standards that you may use in your classroom. I have pulled this from the module. I have provided this one, which if you're going to work predominantly with 4-year-olds, is specific to 4-year-olds. The other one is more generic, but I can only put one thing at a time in this screen that I'm recording from. So you do have to look at these, and as you can see, I'm scrolling through until I kind of get to some of the pertinent stuff. Not that these people's names, of course, aren't pertinent. There's your table of contents, and you can see the different domain. Someone was asking what a domain was. That would be your physical development, approaches to learning, social emotional development, language, communication, emergent literacy, cognitive development, and so on and so forth. And those are really the standards. And when you develop your activities, if you already have the activities, then you have to go through these to determine within which domain it falls. Many people just pick the domain and then find the activity from there. The second question was if you can use your activities that you've already cited. This is a class to give you a repertoire of skills, so I prefer new ones. Not that I'm going to check or remember which activities that you have already submitted, so that's then up to you. All right. So the purpose of these standards, I'm going to say it's very important that you read these, particularly since some of you had some confusion on what culturally and linguistically diverse were. So the reading of this should certainly help with that. Purposes of these specific standards, background information if you're interested. There again, you can see that I have scrolled now already into page 7, which there are over 200 pages in this document. But if you haven't a clue on how to use these standards, and certainly citing them will be that they're identified with a Roman numeral, so I'm going to want that Roman numeral, and then you'll see they are also then subdivided into, there's the Roman numerals for the domain, so you would identify the domain, and then this is very informative as well. For those of you that weren't quite sure on how to use these or activities for diverse learners, this is very important to spend time on. And then eventually, I think, hopefully, recommendations. So you can see that you have to scroll through many, and then it finally gets to the domain. So your physical development, which would be Roman numeral number 1. If you want to do an activity associated with health and wellness, then it would be A, and then whichever of the indicators, so if you're going to maybe offer some different kinds of snacks or make ants on a log, then it would be a 10. It, of course, is helpful to write these out as well, but I will just accept the Roman numeral, the letter, and the number so that I know that you have really perused these documents and kind of look through them. If you want cognitive development, you've got to scroll. I wouldn't even know what page it is. As you can see, each of these are in very almost intimate detail that it almost gives you an activity to use, learning how to use dental hygiene tools. So when you talk about teeth brushing, or maybe you can bring in a dental hygienist to your class as an activity. you know, this is a wonderful document, and you know, it looks more intimidating really than what it is. So hopefully that will help you. Let me just double check. Adaptation for culturally linguistic children. If you read that diverse area, then, and it may, some of them I thought gave examples. That is in the other standards. There are specific examples for culturally and linguistic, or even I'm receptive to, I think I'm remembering there are several of you that work with or have children with autism in your family, that if you want to adapt it to that population, that is fine with me as well. Lastly, what do you mean by extension that families can use? These would be how that activity can be used at home, how the family can either use the same activity at home or expand on it in some way. I would really like to see that for each activity, because the more that we can involve parents in education, certainly the better off we are and the more successful we are. So hopefully that will give you a good start on the project. If not, there again, send me the questions, and if this works well for you, great. If not, then I will just answer individually. All right, now to save it and get it to you. Have a good day.